Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Speak Easy English podcast.
Welcome to Speak Easy, where we make English natural, easy, and fun.
I'm Amin.
And I'm Sarah. Before we jump in, if you're getting value from these conversations, hit that subscribe button. We create episodes like this every week.
And today's topic is something I personally struggle with.
Oh yeah? What is it?
Saying no to people without feeling terrible about it afterwards.
Ah, the guilt. I know exactly what you mean.
Right? It's like someone asks you for a favor, and even though you don't have time or energy, you say yes anyway.
And then you regret it immediately.
Exactly. So today we're talking about the art of saying no, how to do it without the guilt, without damaging relationships, and without feeling like a bad person.
This is such an important skill, especially as adults, because the requests just keep coming, don't they?
They really do.
Okay, so let's start with personal relationships. Friends, family, these are the hardest ones, I think.
Absolutely, because there's so much emotion involved. You don't want to disappoint people you care about.
Right, and I think that's where the guilt comes from. We associate saying no with being selfish or uncaring.
But here's the thing, and I had to learn this the hard way, saying yes to everything actually makes you less available to the people who matter most.
What do you mean?
Well, think about it. If you say yes to every invitation, every request for help, every favor, you end up exhausted and resentful. And then when someone you really care about needs you, you don't have anything left to give.
That's such a good point. So saying no is actually about protecting your energy for what truly matters.
Exactly. It's not selfish, it's sustainable.
I love that word, sustainable, because relationships need to be sustainable, right? You can't just give and give until you burn out.
Right. And here's something I've noticed. People who have healthy boundaries are actually better friends and family members because they're honest, they're present when they do show up, and they don't build up resentment.
That makes total sense. But how do you actually do it? Like, what do you say when your friend asks you to help them move this weekend and you're just not up for it?
Okay, so first thing, and this is crucial, you don't need to justify every no with a detailed explanation.
Really?
Really? A simple, I can't make it work this weekend is enough. You don't owe anyone a list of reasons.
But doesn't that feel a bit cold?
It can, yeah, so you can soften it. You might say, I really wish I could help, but I can't commit to this weekend. I hope you find someone.
Oh, that's better. You're expressing that you care, but you're also being clear about your boundary.
Exactly. And if they're a true friend, they'll respect that. If they push back or make you feel guilty, that's actually a red flag about the relationship.
That's a tough realization, but you're right. Healthy relationships allow for boundaries.
They do. And here's another technique, offering an alternative. If you can't do what they're asking, maybe you can suggest something else that works better for you.
Like what?
Like, I can't help you move on Saturday, but I'm free Friday evening if you want help packing boxes.
Oh, I see. So you're still showing up for them, just in a way that respects your own limits.
Right. It's about finding that balance between being supportive and maintaining your own well-being.
And what about family? Because family requests often come with even more guilt attached.
Yes, family is tricky because there's often this unspoken obligation, right? Like, we're family, so you have to.
Exactly, but the same principles apply, don't they?
They do. Although with family, I think you sometimes need to be a bit more patient in establishing those boundaries because they're used to a certain dynamic and changing it can feel threatening to them.
That's true. So consistency is important.
Very important. If you set a boundary, you have to maintain it. Otherwise, people learn that if they push hard enough, you'll cave.
And that just makes it harder for everyone in the long run.
All right, let's shift to the workplace, because this is where saying no gets really complicated.
Oh, yeah, because there's power dynamics involved, right? Like, how do you say no to your boss?
Right. And also, there's this fear that saying no will make you look uncommitted or lazy.
Or not a team player?
Exactly. But here's what I've learned, and this might surprise you. Thoughtful, strategic no's can actually make you more respected at work.
Really? How?
Because when you say yes to everything, you become the person who's always overwhelmed, always behind on deadlines, always stressed. That's not the image of a competent professional,
That's true. I never thought about it that way.
right? But when you're selective about what you take on and you deliver excellent work on those things, you build a reputation for quality and reliability.
So it's about being strategic.
Absolutely. And when you do need to say no at work, the key is to be professional and solution-oriented.
What does that mean in practice?
Well, let's say your manager asks you to take on a new project, but you're already at capacity. Instead of just saying, I can't, you might say, I want to give this project the attention it deserves. Right now, I'm committed to X and Y. If this is a priority, can we discuss adjusting timelines on my current projects?
Oh, that's smart. You're not refusing outright. You're opening a conversation about priorities and resources.
Exactly. You're showing that you care about doing good work, not that you're trying to avoid work altogether.
And what if it's a colleague asking, not your manager?
With colleagues, you have a bit more flexibility, but I still think honesty combined with respect is the best approach.
Can you give an example?
Sure. If a colleague asks you to cover their shift or help with their task, you might say, I'd like to help, but I'm really focused on finishing my own deadline right now. Maybe I can help you next week.
That seems reasonable.
It is, and most reasonable people will understand. The issue comes when you say yes when you mean no, and then you either do a poor job or you resent them for asking.
Yeah, that builds tension that doesn't need to exist.
Exactly. And here's something that helped me a lot. I started viewing my time and energy as a professional resource, just like my skills or my attention. And when you see it that way, saying no isn't personal, it's about resource management.
That's a really mature perspective.
It took me a while to get there, honestly. I used to feel guilty every time I said no at work, like I was letting the team down.
But you're not, are you? Because if you spread yourself too thin, you're actually letting everyone down a little bit instead of showing up fully for the commitments you do make.
Exactly right. Quality over quantity.
Okay, we've talked about how to say no, but can we talk about the guilt itself? Because I think for a lot of people, even when they know intellectually that it's okay to say no, they still feel terrible afterwards.
Yeah, that's the emotional side of it. And I think the guilt comes from a few different sources.
Like what?
Well, sometimes it's people-pleasing. We want everyone to like us, to think we're helpful and kind. Saying no feels like we're risking that approval.
Mm-hmm. What else?
Sometimes it's fear of conflict. We'd rather say yes and deal with the stress privately than say no and deal with someone's disappointment directly.
That's very relatable.
And sometimes, honestly, I think we overestimate how much our no will hurt the other person. We imagine they'll be devastated, when actually they'll just ask someone else or figure it out.
You're right. We build it up in our heads to be this huge rejection when it's really just a scheduling conflict or a capacity issue.
Exactly. And here's what helped me. I started noticing how I felt when other people said no to me.
And
And I realized I didn't take it personally. I didn't think they were terrible people. I just thought, okay, they're busy, and I moved on.
so we're assuming others will judge us way more harshly than we actually judge them.
Exactly. Most people are reasonable. They get it. Life is busy. People have limits.
And if they're not reasonable about it,
Then that's information about them, not about you.
I like that.
All right, let's give people some practical steps they can use. Like, if you're someone who struggles with this, where do you start?
Good idea.
First, start small. Practice saying no to low-stakes requests, an invitation to an event you don't want to attend, a survey someone wants you to fill out. These small no's build your confidence.
That makes sense. Don't start by saying no to your boss about a major project.
Right. Start where the consequences are minimal. Get comfortable with the sensation of declining.
What's next?
Second, develop some go-to phrases. Having a few polite, professional ways to say no can make it less stressful in the moment.
Like, I appreciate you thinking of me, but I can't take this on right now.
Perfect. Or, I need to check my commitments and get back to you. That buys you time to think instead of saying yes automatically.
Oh, that's a good one, because a lot of us say yes immediately without even thinking.
Exactly. Buying yourself time is powerful. And then third, and this is important, notice the outcomes. Pay attention to what actually happens when you say no.
What do you mean?
Well, if you say no to something and the world doesn't end, the relationship doesn't collapse, and you actually feel relieved, that's data. That's evidence that saying no is okay.
Right, you're building new evidence to counter the old fear.
Exactly. Over time, saying no becomes less scary because you've seen that it's survivable and often beneficial.
This has been such a good conversation. I feel like I learned a lot.
Me too, actually. It's been helpful to talk through these scenarios.
And I'm curious, for those of you listening, what's your biggest challenge with saying no? Is it at work, with family, with friends?
Yeah, send us a voice message. We'd love to hear your experiences. What situation makes it hardest for you to say no?
And have you found any strategies that work for you? Maybe you've discovered something we didn't mention.
If this conversation resonated with you, do us a favor. Share this episode with someone who might need to hear it, because we all know someone who struggles with this.
And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. We create conversations like this every week to help you improve your English naturally.
Thanks so much for listening to Speak Easy English Podcast.
Remember, we make English natural, easy, and fun.
See you in the next one.